Hey Chris, I'm just curious. Josiah Stewart had the big tackle for a loss yesterday. Where have you seen his growth this year?
Just steady. He had a tough OTAs because he came in with a little bit of hamstring, so he really didn't get any full speed football. Really, it feels like really till like training camp. He's a stud. We think he can play at every down. We think he helps us on run downs, hitting the run, hitting blocks. He's really good in coverage, and he's a great rusher. So it's just been steady improvement. It's like any rookie. It's as you improve, there's going to be little blips along the way, and those have absolutely happened. But we love where he's at, and we think he's going to be an awesome player for us for years to come.
Have there been any moments where you've seen him learning either like in the meeting room or on the field from Byron or Jared?
Oh, all the time. He's a guy that can apply stuff very quickly from the meeting room to the field. Joe gives those guys a lot of freedoms within the framework of our calls. And when they understand the intent of the call, they can kind of put their own spin on it. And you can see him, BY and Verse kind of taking them under his wing. And those guys are picking on him a lot more now. So that's how making fun of him. And Verse is always kind of making fun of him. So that's how they love him. But yeah, they've really really taken a mentorship role. It's pretty cool to see those two. They've played a lot of snaps, and even though Verse and BY are young players, they're veterans at this point.
Thank you.
Adam. Uh, Chris, just to kind of build off of what you were saying about BY and Verse there, like as them being like kind of the old guys now in that outside backer room, like how have you kind of seen them put their own spin on being the leaders in that room?
Yeah, they do it in their own way. Verse is really leading by at this point practicing as hard as possible, and you could see it. He's running on Thursday. He's saying no loafs. He's making sure everybody gets out of the stack, running to the ball, and those guys are engaged in the meeting room. It's a very when you're in that meeting room, with Joe, they're really talking about it's a lot of discussion, open discussion. I would play this block like this. I would play it like this. I would align like this. So there's a lot of different things like that. So it's a ton of interaction, and those guys have just been awesome. And those guys learned from Hoyt last year, and now they're just taking the next step, like we just said.
How would you describe the friendship between Byron and Jared?
Like brothers, I would say like brothers. They fight, they pick on each other, but they love each other at the end of the day. And I think they really respect each other. They really respect each other's games. I think they're unselfish, and they like to see each other have success. So it's been pretty cool to see the growth.
And yesterday, what led to the decision to keep Ahkello inactive?
We're always just trying to get the best guys up in the best roles, and it's a decision we feel like with Forbes, Kobie, D Will was a little bit banged up the week before, so that's kind of what led to that decision. And then you decide, with all four healthy, what do you think the best matchups and things like that are going to be? So, we'll see what it leads to Thursday night.
And all season guys on the defense have talked about doing their 111th, particularly in regards to the run game. And that was, again, a theme yesterday after the game. Like, what, if anything, did you do to try to instill accountability to do that 111th during camp or early in the season?
We talk about it all the time, Adam. Like it's you got to earn the right to rush the passer. So, we love all these blitzes and this cool stuff we get to do, these cool fronts and coverages and stuff that we can do. But if you don't get him into passing situations, then you're never going to be able to do it. So, and that's run defense is 11 as one. It's doing your part within the framework of the defense, and those guys take ownership and accountability to do that, and they know if they do their part, we're going to earn the right to rush.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Stu.
Hey, Chris, speaking of earning the right to rush, when we talked to Kobie Turner post game yesterday, he talked about how you and Giff gave those guys the green light to play the pass more. I guess, one, what about the way you guys were defending the run yesterday made you comfortable doing that and trusting their instincts in that way? And what did you see in the second half as they leaned into that more?
Yeah, it really the second half, we just really tried to put, I think our guys just made plays and executed, and that's really all it was. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy that we did as far as scheme wise. I think a lot of the stuff in the first half was great players on their side and great schemes and great players making plays, and we just talked about, being 111th and doing your job and hitting your shot. And, if you get a tip, go for it. And that's kind of, I think, what Kobie's referring to.
And then with him specifically, just what did you see in terms of the impact he had for the pass rush yesterday?
Oh, he's a stud. And you see on that one, obviously, that huge sack on the, I think it was a 2nd and 10. And he just closes. He's a finisher. And we've kind of said that from his rookie year and why he's had the numbers that he's had. He's always been able to work edges. It's like one of those guys. We said it all the time. He just doesn't have a lot of bad plays. Just very few bad plays. He's consistent. He's every single time you better account for him. And if you're not on it, if you settle up a little bit, then he's going to beat you. And if he gets a chance, he's going to finish.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next two.
And then we'll wrap with Gary and then Wyatt.
Hey, Chris. What's the challenge or maybe the advantage of not having a lot of time to prepare for the Seahawks?
We both have the same amount of time, so I don't know if it's the advantage or not, but we like our short week rhythm, and obviously we've done it the same kind of rhythm these last, however many 3 or 4 years, and our guys are really good. Obviously you got to walk through a lot. You're not going to be able to practice full speed too much, and our guys are really good at walking through and getting the reps and the mental reps that they need, and they're professional, and we'll be ready to go.
This week, I guessing is a little bit different with Sean's situation with another baby and whatnot. Have you guys adjusted anything in this short week for you and Mike, maybe in terms of taking control of some things that maybe Sean can't attend to in the immediate, I guess right now?
Yeah, well, we're obviously I didn't do my post game review or anything like that from last night with him. So that was a big change from a normal Monday or really since the last Thursday. So having set a quick congrats and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. But we're operating as normal. We're rolling, and then me and Sean have always had a great obviously a great relationship, and it's always been kind of a little bit more on the informal side of as far as when we get together. He knows every single thing in the game plan. He knows every single thing we're doing, and it might be hey, you might just call me down to his office at a random time, or he might pop in our meeting room as we're game planning, and he kind of goes through the calls or different things like that. So I'm sure we'll get together at some point, and whenever it fits for him. Obviously that'd be more of a question for him.
You guys did a nice job controlling their running game yesterday. So I just wanted to ask you, Poona Ford, kind of quiet, is at least kind of a quiet personality, but what has he kind of brought to that front?
He's a dominant run player, and he's just a great player. That's really what he is. And he's quiet, in group settings and stuff like that. But I think if you ask, those guys in that room or the guys on the defense that get to know him, he's got a great personality, and he loves football. He plays really hard, and he's brought a great veteran presence to that room, and he's been better than we could have ever imagined. He's been excellent so far.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Gary.
Wyatt.
Hey, Chris, thanks for doing this. Kobie, has gotten a lot of sack production this week, and I know, or the past couple weeks, and I know you guys talk about assists and stuff, but what have you seen that's allowed him to kind of finish those sacks off?
It's sacks are a weird thing. It's like, sometimes guys are getting a ton of pressures and the ball's coming out, and I think for sacks to happen, especially right now, the ball comes out so fast, so the guys in the back end have to do their job. So it's just a product of I think on his sack last night, you'll see some really good coverage, and Goff obviously had to go to a second or third look, and at that time he has that closing speed like I was talking about earlier. So I don't think he's doing anything different. I'm not sure what his numbers were before the bye. I know they're a little bit lower exactly as far as exactly how many sacks or anything he had, but he's been affecting the game from the jump, and just like you talked about, it's glad to see it come up on the stat sheet now.
And obviously, like when we talk to him and see him in the locker room, he's a very happy guy. But do you see that switch kind of flip on game day, and what does that kind of look like?
He flips the switch in practice too. He's a competitor. He's obviously, I think as far as how well rounded he is, and one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet, and as far as the type of person and what he does, and and everything that he's about. And he flips the switch at practice. If you watch them in individual drills, he's standing in the front of the line. He's making sure those guys are getting off the ball, getting out of their stance, doing everything perfect. And he doesn't take any plays off. And I just remember asking about him. I showed him clips of him running the ball in college to the defense last year, just because that's just how he's wired. And he just said he's always been kind of a and you could ask him this, but he said that's just the mentality he has. He's always kind of a little bit undersized, a little bit this, and every single play he never takes a play off, and that's why you got to be on it every play with him, and if you don't, he's going to make you pay.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this.
Yes.
Hey, can you give us any kind of update on Davante Adams?
No, I can't truthfully, and I know Sean, I think tomorrow is going to update you guys on that, but I got nothing for you.
Okay. As Sean said, it didn't look real good. If Davante cannot play against the Seahawks, how does that affect your offense?
Yeah, we'll probably just go out with 10 guys and just see what happens. No, I'm just kidding, Gary. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you guys have seen, how valuable he's been for us in so many different ways. Even over the last few weeks, these last 2 weeks, just the amount of attention he gets in situational football, whether it be the red zone, third down. So the targets haven't necessarily been there in the red zone as of late, but it's because you're not trying to force it into double or triple team. So he's a Hall of Famer for a reason, and he's still playing at that high clip, and we're just hoping for the best in terms of what's going on down there.
Konata played a lot of snaps, it looked like yesterday, and I know Davante has spoken highly of him, so have the other receivers. If he is a guy, if Davante can't play and Konata has a bigger role, what gives you confidence that he'd be able to handle that?
Yeah, just that he has been out there and he's shown it's not too big for him. So he's played a lot of football dating back to really starting in Jacksonville when we were over in Europe, right? So you trust him, the quarterback trusts him, the coaches trust him, his teammates trust him. Again, it's he's a rookie just by obviously being a rookie, but he doesn't conduct himself that way when he's on the field or just kind of how he conducts himself around this building.
Thanks very much.
You got it, Gary.
Wyatt.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
I think Puka called Konate Davante's apprentice yesterday, and I know that they've worked together a lot. So, like, what specifically are some of the things that you've seen Konate pick up from Davante?
Yeah, I mean, he's always absorbing, all the little nuances of receiver play. What's cool is, all receivers comes in all, shapes and sizes. Puka and Davante are very, very different, right? And so, Puka, yeah, he's going to take some stuff from Davante, but their play styles are different. Mump, he has, similar traits, if you will, to Davante in terms of just kind of how they're wired in their lower half and, you know, um, kind of how they see the game. So it's been a really cool deal. Mumph is a smart dude, as I've alluded to quite a bit. It was very easy for him to realize, wow, there's a lot of things that Tay does that I want to do because my body will allow me to do it. So and Tay likewise has seen that from Mumph. I mean, I would say, that's the one that he's really taken a hand to because again, he sees a lot of the similar traits that he was when he was younger.
Thank you.
Got it, Wyatt.
Adam.
Hey, Mike. Tyler and Rob are eligible to come off IR this week. Are you anticipating them being back?
Yeah, those are just again some things kind of like with the Tay deal in terms of stuff that we're going to probably discuss later in today, and it's been crazy. Boss Man's had a few extra little things outside of football that he's been dealing with, but he's back at it now.
Um, Colby Parkinson has more touchdowns the last 6 weeks than the first 5 years of his career. I'm just curious. He's been with you guys for almost 2 years now. How have you seen him grow as a pass catcher in that time?
I've just seen him grow as a football player. I mean, there was a reason that we all collectively, Sean, Les, and everyone else, were thrilled about grabbing him a year ago out of free agency, just from his toughness and some of the things that he could do in all the phases, run, pass catching and then pass protection. I just think he's just grown so much. as a player, as a man, and just really, I don't want to say accepting his role, but just embracing, everything that we've asked him to do and do it at the highest clip that he can. And he goes to work both in the meeting room and the practice field as well as anyone we got on this squad. He is a Ram through and through. Couldn't be happier for his individual success, which is leading to, a lot of the stuff that we've been able to do offensively.
Sean has talked about the team, naturally progressing into incorporating 13 personnel during the Baltimore and London weeks. So when you entered the bye right after that and knew 13 was kind of here to stay, like how did that change the type of cut ups and film you were asking for and watching?
Um, it didn't, I mean, I guess you just had to grab more base defense 13 personnel, and hasn't changed a ton. You have to kind of sometimes guess what a defense is going to do because not a lot of people are running 13 personnel unless it's situational ball, and if they are, you're only getting about 4 to 6 snaps a game. So you still have to kind of go, okay, they're going to be prepping for it. So what's going to be different when they play us, and you're just kind of playing that guessing game a little bit. So it's been fun to dive back into it. It's kind of more in the roots of where when I first started in 2014, we weren't necessarily 13 personnel. We'd sprinkle it in, but typically we'd have a fullback in there, so 22, 21, and mainly you're going against base defense, right? And so it's been fun over the last, 8 weeks or however long it's been to really dive back into that and try to put these guys in position to be successful.
Is that guessing game, when it came to like how will they react to 13, any different than when you talk about like the guessing game of like how is a coordinator gonna adjust between divisional matchups and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it can be for sure. It's again, you don't always have a ton of data with, like I was saying, with the 13 personnel. And when you're doing something as an offense or a defense at a pretty high level, which I think we are in 13 personnel, naturally, you go against a guy like Mike and AD over in Seattle, like they're gonna have stuff for it, and they're gonna have stuff that you're not prepared for. That's what good coaches do, and they're great coaches over there. So yeah, they whatever they put on tape from us the first time, they're going to have something new for us, and we got to be willing to adjust. And thankfully for we got smart guys that don't blink, and whatever they throw at us, we'll be ready.